pleasant good morning. Happy Saturday to everyone. I hope everyone is staying dry and staying safe for a lot of rough and rainy weather down this way here in the South. Hope you're being safe wherever you are. Welcome to the Carlos Brown Show. I'm Charles Edmond. Carlos Brown will be coming up shortly. Here's the agenda. Here's the guest menu on the Carlos Brown Show. No guest this week, but a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of things have come out of the hopper within the last 24 hours. So let's talk about it here on the guest menu. Of course, the NBA Finals. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. What a run for the Knicks. First title in over 50 years. And it just got you thinking about programs and teams that haven't won in a long time. And the New York Knicks are one of those, and they got it done. And we'll talk about that. Within the last 24 hours, some SWAC news. Jackson State basketball hiring Kendrick Perkins, Big Perk. If you know Kendrick Perkins, he's the NBA analyst for ESPN. He has been hired as Jackson State's general manager. That's gotten a lot of conversation on social media. So we'll talk about that, as well as some SWAC football talk. So Carlos will be joining us, and let's get right to it. Wheeler Brown, good morning or good afternoon.
Good morning. Good afternoon for me. How you guys?
And Coach Petaway, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Charles. Good morning, Wheeler.
Well, right now, what's been dominating down here, and I'm in Vicksburg, Mississippi, is just the weather. It's raining right now where I am, and it's just been a lot of rain. I saw some videos over the last week or so. And I'm sure down in Louisiana, where Carlos is in Baton Rouge, it's just been rough on the coast of Mississippi. It's tough right now. I mean, this tropical system, it has really done a lot of devastation, a lot of flooding, and so it just shows you just how tough it is. Even without it being a hurricane per se, it's been a lot of water.
Right. And I was concerned early in the week because few times that I got down to Southern in the daytime and was able to get around their campus, I noticed the beautiful waterway. And I think that's why they call it the Bluff. And I wanted to know if that affected, the campus because of all the rain. But I was told that it did not. And that's just interesting. But thoughts and prayers are for the people that are being affected by this. But, yeah, there's a lot of water out. And there was a lot of water. This time last week, we were flooding here in Huntsville.
Yeah.
We had roads that had to be closed that you weren't even near water, but It was so much rain, it found its way to some roads and streets and highways that they had to close them.
Yeah. And Wheeler, how is it out there in Baltimore? Hot, rainy?
Oh, it's great. It's great. Right now we're talking about 80 degrees, sunshine, the whole 9 yards. We did get a brief thunderstorm on yesterday morning, and but outside of that, it's been enjoyable for a change, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be cranking up. Another sports season is going to be cranking up within a month. We got SWAC Football Media Day coming up July 15th. We kind of talked about it the last couple of weeks, some of the too early predictions. I kind of stuck my neck out there last week talking about some stuff, and it's gotten some reaction. So we'll definitely get into that, and of course some other news. But let's start with the NBA Finals. How about the New York Knicks? How about the ticker tape parade the other day, and the Knicks getting it done? 4 come from behind wins over the San Antonio Spurs. Did anyone expect that? And did anyone expect it to happen the way that it happened?
I know I didn't. I picked the team. I said whoever's going to come out of the West would win it. And, a lot of people felt the same way. But the Knicks, what we didn't count on was their heart, their drive. They played some tremendous team defense, and their offense came around at the right time. I mean, they did this was one of the best finals, most exciting finals that I have seen in a while.
Mm-hmm. And just the way the Knicks did it, Wheeler, I mean, down 29, and people talk about, was that one of the greatest comebacks you've seen with your own eyes? It was It is, but there was another one I want to talk about involving two SWAC teams. One of the great comebacks that I've seen up until that 29-point game. We'll talk about that in a moment. But Wheeler, that was this were the San Antonio Spurs ready for what they expected? I mean, people thought Wemby, the face of the league, but you clearly saw a veteran team versus a team that struggled to figure it out, especially closing out games. And the Knicks showed that battle.
The Knicks displayed a lot of heart, a lot of toughness, and in a lot of the situations they were in, that's pretty much what got them over the hump. They refused to die, they refused to lay down, and they kept fighting tooth and nail all the way. I just thought San Antonio was a little soft overall. But the Knicks' grit and determination kind of really wore them down, that sort of thing. So it was good for New York to get that championship. I think, it lent itself the kudos for hard work, for good defense, for determination, all the things that seem to have gone astray in our game in today's time. So it was good to see toughness prevail, over all others. So it was great.
Right. And Charles, I think the inexperience of San Antonio, I think that showed a lot in this series. You got to think about it now. They led by double digits in just about every game, but they could not hold a lead down the stretch. They made crucial mistakes, and you can only put that on inexperience. The only veteran that they had on the team that was getting significant minutes, he made one of the biggest errors ever when he didn't bring the ball back out.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to score instead of working on the clock. So I think that inexperience really showed. I thought San Antonio would have more fight in them at home, and it seemed like they played better on the road than they did at home. Seemed like at home they relaxed or something, but it just wasn't there. That same atmosphere, that same fight that they had down the stretch, they didn't have that in the playoffs. Well, not the playoff, in the finals.
Yeah,
in the finals. Yeah.
Well, it was. Look, when I look at the New York Knicks, and I'm hard on coaches. When Mike Brown was hired, well, first of all, we can go back to Tibbs being fired. I think all of us talked about the fact that we thought that was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see what the Knicks did, and I thought early in the playoffs when they were hitting the mouth a few times in the Atlanta series, I thought the Knicks would fold. They blew out Atlanta. They manhandled Cleveland. They came from behind, 23 or 24 down in game one of that series. But they showed their toughness. And I think that's kind of where the Knicks evolved, starting with that game one against Cleveland. And then clearly they didn't flinch when they were down, whether it was 29, whether it was 15, whether it was 11 or 12. The Knicks didn't flinch. And I didn't expect that. I thought the Knicks would kind of cave in a little bit. But to me, the question is, did the Knicks win the series or did the Spurs lose the series?
Yeah. A lot of people saying that.
It was a combination of both. And San Antonio shooting all them threes. If you want to look at a culprit, then that's a ready one right there. A whole lot of situations they probably could have got the ball a little closer to the basket or settle for the mid-range jump shot or something to that effect. But live by the three, die by the three, and they died more than they lived, I guess.
Yeah. And then their veteran De'Aaron Fox, to me, let San Antonio down. He's the one with the experience. Harper came off the bench, and he's a rookie, and he had just a phenomenal series. And he's already putting pressure on San Antonio. He's already told them that, hey, he wants to start. He wants to be in the starting lineup. But they gave Fox an extension last year. So that's going to be interesting how that's going to work out, because they do have some good pieces. I think all they got to do, man, is add another veteran player that can help them on the inside. I don't think they need a veteran on the perimeter. I think a veteran on the inside to help calm that team down, those players down, I think that'll really help San Antonio. That'll take them a long ways, in my opinion.
And Charles, I think people are too ready to anoint the second coming. This Wemby boy, he's got to earn them stripes. I mean, second year in the NBA, I believe. And, mentally, he's just not ready for that mantle yet. And, but we're so quick to anoint him and all that sort of thing. Not we, but whomever, probably put more pressure on the boy than they doing good. More pressure than he can handle at a young age. And so
and Will, I think his people that surround him, I think they need to get to him because he's showing some signs that I think a lot of it has to do with from a different culture.
Yeah.
Because he's doing some things that are not going to get that is not going to be favorable for him. For instance, the national anthem. The cameras were real nice to him. They would get off of Wemby because when the national anthem is going on, Wemby's not paying attention to that, man. He don't care because it's not his national anthem. Okay, but that stuff will hurt him in the eyes of the general public, right? So his people got to get on top of that. Another thing, when he wins, he'll go to that microphone. But now when he loses, have you noticed? He doesn't even want to be at the microphone. One game they had to find they reprimanded him because he would not interview after a loss. So it's stuff like this where I think the people in his immediate surroundings, they got to get a grip on that, man. They got to help show the young man that, hey, this is the way you got to be, lose or win. There's certain things that you have to do. There's protocol.
And do they know, Coach Pettaway? Do they know who the people who are around him or that have surrounded him, do they know?
Well, that's where the Spurs organization got to come in.
Yeah.
That people in the Spurs organization got to get to his people or to Wemby. If you can't go directly to Wemby, get to his people. Say, hey, we need to look at this now. You can't blow off our national anthem and you playing in America. Well, I'm not saying you got to be at attention, but some of his gestures during the anthem, that's not good, man.
Well, in terms of his game, in terms of Wemby's game at 7'5", we see him taking threes. And we see him on the break. I mean, he was unstoppable on the break when they got it to him in space, got it above the rim. He was unstoppable, and you saw that. So when you talk about his game, what's the next level for him? I mean, he's young, 21, 22 years old. He's got a great upside. And there are a lot of people who believe that he will win multiple championships. And some pundits would say sometimes you got to take a couple of steps back before you take a couple of steps forward. LeBron had the heartbreak. Jordan had the heartbreak. Larry Bird had the heartbreak. And so this is kind of what the narrative has been with that. So now, that being said, going forward for Wemby, Carlos chiming in, for Wemby, what is the next evolution in his game? You heard Shaq talk about he needs to get with certain bigs. And what's the next evolution?
I think his body. He's got to develop his body. I don't mean bulk up. He's got to get stronger.
Yeah.
The offensive rebound that he gave up because he was too weak. He got pushed up under the basket. They get the offensive rebound. That was a very crucial rebound for San Antonio. They needed that rebound, and he got pushed to the other side of the basket.
So he's got to buy some toughness. He's got to buy some toughness somewhere. Yeah, because I think that's the major piece outside of the strength factor that's missing from his game. But he probably could get by strength-wise with whom he is if he just had some toughness.
Yeah.
But the toughness comes with the strength, I think.
Right.
In a lot of instances, that sort of thing. So the two go hand in hand. But without that, I mean, you look at LeBron, you look at all the other people that you just named, Charles, they had that toughness. Michael didn't have that toughness early on. but he developed that toughness as time went on, and he started winning championships, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
By
I
doing
think it
what,
makes a
though, Will?
difference.
By doing what, Will? Getting in the weight room.
Yeah, no doubt.
Michael said after they pushed him around for a couple years, he
Mhm.
realized that if he gonna get past Detroit, he had to get himself ready. Now,
Mhm.
Michael didn't gain a lot of weight; he gained strength.
Yeah.
Along with the strength came confidence.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's what Wemby has to do. Now, I'm gonna go back to my grandfather. That boy needs some gunpowder. you know, they you know, they, but I think all of that, man. If he just he makes it his thing to get in that weight room, because they got creatine, they got all kind of stuff out there now for these athletes to help them develop their bodies and develop this muscle. I think strength will help Wemby because, man, they beat the crap out of that boy, man, and that's what they were supposed to do. We do that on the collegiate level. When we looking at a film or we looking at a team and we see that guy's weak, that's the
your
first
behind
thing
up. You got that right.
You doggone right. I said, man, we finna whoop his butt. We finna beat him down. If you don't get a couple foul because you push him around, your butt finna come out the game.
Yeah.
So that's all they're doing on the NBA level. They know to get to Wemby, you got to rough him up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the New York Knicks are the 9th different champion in the last 9 years.
Yep, no doubt.
And so you talk about parity, you talk about, spreading the wealth around with this funding formula with the NBA, the first apron, the second apron. The Knicks have some decisions to make. I think with San Antonio, what are you going to do with Fox and that big contract? Is he going to take a step back and take less money to be able to help his program? So now I want to talk about that aspect of it, because for the New York Knicks, Dolan, the owner, said he doesn't want to go into the second apron.
Yep.
So Karl Anthony Towns is the key piece, because Jalen Brunson took a $110 million pay cut. Karl Anthony Towns, his name was bandied about at the trade deadline. If you want to keep that roster whole, then do you think Cat will take a step back and take less money? I don't think he will, because he was being booed, and I don't know what kind of relationship he has in that city, even though they won a championship. Do you think Cat will take a step back to be able to give the Knicks the flexibility to continue to add to that roster?
Well, I thought it was a little different because he was already on the team. Don't they get a break by re-signing him because he's already part of the team?
Well, he's doing a big another contract last year, and something didn't work out there. So you're looking at his salary going forward. There's got to be some flexibility either from that end of it, or maybe they have to take some minimum contracts.
Right.
Dolan ain't a young man. The owner, Dolan, he's not a young man. So my thought process is that he just wants to keep the team competitive.
Right.
He got that championship now. Katie bar the door. I don't have to spend a whole lot of money chasing something I've already gotten. But let me do enough to keep this team competitive and keep them in the hunt. And if we sniff at a title every now and then we okay. But if it eliminates me spending like other people think we should spend, then that's another story altogether.
But he's already on record saying he's not going that second April.
Yeah.
To keep the team together. He said, no, I'm not doing that.
Oh, he's gonna do just enough to keep him competitive, Coach.
Yeah.
That's well, lightning in the bottle. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Lightning in the bottle. He went on record and said he's not going to the second apron. If Cat says he's not going to take a pay cut, I couldn't get mad with him.
Right.
Bronson did it. Bronson, it paid off for him. Yeah. I bet you when he gets a new contract, he's not going.
Oh yeah.
He's not going to take a cut.
Mhm.
He took a cut, helped them to get a championship. And the way the NBA is set up financially, it's going to be tough. Yeah, because you get taxed when you get into that second apron. Now, there are quite a few teams that are under the second apron, and then quite a few that's under the first apron. So they have money to play with. Boy, that sounds weird saying money to play with. You know, and you have some teams like next summer, they're going to have some stars coming off of their contracts. So will Cat take less? I think right now he probably won't. It just depends. And then some of the prognosticators were talking about one of the worst trades in history was when Cat was at Minnesota. And that was one of the reasons why they traded him, because they didn't want to go over that second apron tax. So they sent him to New York. Yeah. So
well, you know, Cat better not overplay his hand. Yeah, because you know, I don't know truly how much he's worth. In terms of maximum dollars. You know, that sort of thing. So, you know, he might want to think twice. He's not going to be a piece that everybody got to have in order to win a championship.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm thinking about what's the missing piece for me getting a title, the Cat's name ain't one that comes to my tongue right away.
But Carlos, getting back to your point, Minnesota made a decision between Cat and Rudy. They chose Rudy. They chose the defensive player of the year over an offensive guy. Now, you already know the answer to this. If I had been a GM, who you think would have been gone? Rudy. I want that guy that can score. Give me the guy that can score, because I can teach him defense. Give me the guy that can pass. Yeah. I would have kept Cat and got rid of Rudy.
And you know, right, Coach. And one of the things with Cat that, you know, he may have to improve on, he could get better defensively. I give you that. But, you know, one of the big things is he makes silly fouls. Yeah. And I just noticed a lot of times they talk about when you play defense, and you maybe can talk more to this, Coach Pettaway. It's about the lower half, moving those feet.
Yep.
And so I agree with you. I think he can improve on that. But the silly fouls, that's kind of got him in trouble.
Yep. But now when he wasn't in foul trouble, now think about this. He did a pretty decent job on Wemby now.
He did a great job.
Yeah. He made it very difficult for Wemby.
Yep. It's kind of, some of this is up here.
Yep.
Now, Willa, he probably wouldn't be the first name, but he probably be the second or third.
And that'd be okay. But his salary would dictate accordingly.
True form, Willa. You are the hardliner. That's why. That's why you get your title. But you know what? There are owners like that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with I call him the big cat.
But look, Dolan has always been like that. You got to remember now, Coach Joe was a scout for the Knicks under Dolan. All right. He had Jackson in there then. They spending all this money on scouting, right? We go out, we identify these players, we bring them back. Jackson didn't want these college players. So I was like, wait a minute. Well, why are we doing this? Why are we out here on this road evaluating these kids and y'all not going to take them? You don't want them. One of the names we gave them, and they made Coach Joe feel like a penny worth of change. He said, there's this kid at Arizona State named Harden. I think we need to look at him. That was James Harden coming out of college.
Wow. Yeah.
That's one example, man. That's just one example. So you watch all these kids, and they're all in college, but they don't take any of them. They want veterans. They want to go overseas, get the guys that grew up in these pro leagues over there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Dolan giving them the power to do that. And that's why Phil Jackson's career, that's why he didn't last in New York.
Mm.
Yeah, they butted heads big time.
Yeah.
Now you take my team, which is the Heat. They're in a rut. Now they have a good organization. You remember how many players they got that kind of slipped through, didn't get drafted, but they ended up making it. So that's not the problem there. Sales tax, really good in Florida. None, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So let me stop there. So this thing now with Guinness, every 2 hours it's something changed. You got a lot of people saying this is going to happen, that's going to happen. I don't trust them. Now it seems to be it's going to have to take 4 or 5 teams they talk about now to get Guinness to Miami, or is it Boston? Boston was in it. I stated again publicly, Pat, right? I don't think it's worth it to get him. Because
How much do you have to give up?
Left?
Right.
To
How
me,
much do you have to give up, Carlos, to get it?
Can I say too damn much? And I'm looking at the long range, this long plan. I've been preaching it every week of how OKC did it. I mean, they had the big three: Durant, Harden, and somebody else.
Westbrook.
Yeah. Then they was like, you know what? They broke it up. They got a lot of draft picks, and the rest is history.
Pat ain't looking at the long game, Charles. Carlos. He ain't got a
Mhm.
whole lot left in the tank.
Right, and
he trying to hit it and quit it.
and that's why I'm fundamentally against it.
But part of the reason, in my opinion, part of the reason why Oklahoma City is so good is because they've been so bad. When you've been bad for that stretch after Harden, after Durant, they were horrible, and so you were able to load up just by being bad. Now the rules have changed; you're not going to be able to. That's not going to happen anymore. But they were bad for so long, and they accumulated all those picks. So I think that's the reason why OKC is in part where they are right now. But just
I think
the funding model, you got to deal with J-Dub. He's due for a big payday. Shay's getting $80 million a year. Next year, the Thunder are going to have, and they got all this draft capital. They've got all this capital in their cabinet. How are you going to restructure that to keep themselves competitive with San Antonio being right there? And you got Houston that's on the come up. How are you going to do that when you got all this capital and you're trying to keep Shea happy?
I would rather. That's a good problem to have. I tell you what,
it is a good problem.
You have all that, and they had a couple of bad seasons. I don't think it was long, but two things could be true at once. What they did from a managing standpoint was tremendous.
Yeah,
and I would take that. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're gonna have to make some tough decisions. So the Celtics will as well.
Yeah,
they're gonna make it. Houston had a lot of capital. What happened? Didn't get it done.
Yeah.
I'm calling Coach Petaway and Coach Willa Brown as consultants. That's what I'm doing. I'm picking the basketball mind because once again, they've done a great thing. But in my opinion, it is. I would not bring in the Greek freak and give up all of that. Just my opinion on that. And the Knicks, I think it's going to be tough next year because now you go from hunting to being the one that's hunting. And let's see how they handle that. Now, I heard you Charles say it about different champions the last 8 years. You got a different one. The trend says you may have a different one for next year.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, you look at it, how would they call it? Too early predictions. San Antonio, I saw one piece of information, got San Antonio right back. And look, I agree with what you were saying about Mr. Wemby. Yeah, he's got to get tougher. And I agree with what you were saying. Michael Jordan, yep. It's a process. Only Magic, I believe, his first year went to a championship, if I'm not mistaken. And that's when he ended up playing all positions on the court against Philadelphia, if I remember. So, yeah, it's a process. It's a process. Now, let me add this. It was a lot of talk on social media. I think I know what Will is going to say on this. I think I know Coach Pettaway is going to say, and I think I know Charles what he's going to say about it. A bunch of them walked off the court and didn't shake their hand. Now, Carlos Brown would have shaken hands. That's just me, but I've been steaming inside. But you know what? I look at that clock and say, you know what? We had a hell of an opportunity. We didn't take advantage of it. And I get it, experience and all of that. But I would have shaken their hand, and then I'm going right to work like Jordan did. You remember when he came back after trying in baseball, and that didn't work out? And when they got beat by, I believe, the Magic, he went right in the gym after the next day, and he came back. So what do you think? Coach Pettaway, should they have shaken hands? Would you have?
First of all, every player on my team would have when that clock was winding down, I would have gone down that bench. I said, hey, man, we win with class, we lose with class. We going down here and shake their hand. We would have shook. Now, why wouldn't you? You at home. It's not going to be like you got to run from the crowd. If you was on the road, you may have been afraid because, the crowd was going to storm the court. But you at home, so it's no store of they're not going to storm the court. So we would have gone down. And I just think I didn't like that. I'm not going to call it classless, but I just didn't like it.
I agree 100%, Coach. No doubt about it. Win with class, lose with class, line it up, go get a hand, and go on to the locker room and lick your wounds. There's no place for a lack of sportsmanship at all. And that trickles from the top down.
Right.
Yeah.
Now
I agree. I 100% agree. It was just a bad look. It was a bad look all the way around for me. I mean, look, the Spurs have nobody to blame but themselves. They blew double-digit leads in all 4 games. So I agree. There should have been. I think a couple of players did try to go and shake some hands from the Spurs.
I saw one.
Yeah, but
backup center.
Yeah, I mean, but for the most part, it was not good sportsmanship. It was not a good look, and it was kind of disappointing.
Now, a lot of blame to go around. I agree. The coach, he takes some of the blame, and now some people, like in the chat room, Emmett said, if I'm San Antonio Spurs, I would play Harper in front of Fox.
Yep.
Yeah, he during the season, he was complaining about not enough time. Now, you know who his father is, right?
Yeah, Ron
Harper.
Five-time NBA champion. Yeah.
I love that backcourt. You had 6'5", 6'6" guys that played tough defense, and they were good two-way players.
Yeah.
But he's unhappy. Is that valid? Should he be unhappy?
Yes, to my Ron Harper. I mean, I'm sorry. The son, yes, he should be unhappy. He's a rookie. He's playing better than the veteran down the stretch. I think San Antonio lost a couple games because they had him on the bench instead of letting him play in the fourth quarter. I go to this. Why are you gonna run plays for DeAndre Fox when he was like 4 for 19? Why would you put the ball in his hand? Put the ball in that doggone rookie's hand, man. Who shot a better percentage down the stretch? I
would have went down there and talked to him. Assistant coach, take over for a second. Look, I know you're professional. You're the oldest on the team, but I'm not gonna look bad.
Yep.
We're gonna be professional, but I'm gonna go with Harper. Okay. Well, I'm not asking for his permission. Let me tell you, I'm finna play Harper. Because he brought energy. And sometimes the best thing about a rookie is, Willa, they don't know they're a rookie.
That's true.
Some can handle it. Now, that's kind of how I would have done it.
Well, I ain't giving no explanation, Carlos. They ain't got time for all that nonsense. I'm trying to win a damn game. And I got to come and coddle you and dry your tears and change your diaper. Ain't happening here.
Tell him to make a change. That's it, huh?
Yeah, Carlos, I'd have been down there. Harper, let's go. That's it. Ain't nothing else said. Let's go.
Now, if you want to have a discussion, and when we get to the locker room behind closed doors or what have you, then fine. I ain't got no issue with that part at all. But game time, I ain't got no time for that nonsense. Sit your behind down.
It's like
trying to win a game out here.
It's like Coach Richard said one time. Look, Holmes, I'm not losing my job because ultimately it's gonna come back to him.
You got that right.
Yeah.
Well, there are, people are saying that Coach Johnson should be fired. That's not going to happen. I mean, he just took your team to the finals. He's a young coach that needs to learn, that has a lot to learn, and I think that maybe bolstering his staff a little bit with more veteran presence on the bench might help him a great deal. But any call of him getting fired after taking that team to the finals, that's probably not going to happen. Now, the Aaron Fox situation, he's what, $160, $170 million owed to him. The question is, what do you do with that? Because he's tied with that money. Is he going to take a haircut to be able to help San Antonio maybe add some more pieces?
Yeah, he better be in a position to do that. Because if not, he gonna be SOL. I'm telling you now.
You got that
right. And I wouldn't be unhappy if we can kind of thank him for what he's done and move him on.
Right. Well, I guess what's one of the things they got to look at though, how much of that is guaranteed, because it'll be a salary cap hit. But you got to keep those young core. You got to keep them young people happy, man. You got youth on your side with them, man. You got to keep Harper in the mix. The core of that team is young. You got to keep them in the mix, man.
Yeah. And you know something else? I was thinking about it. San Antonio could use a good veteran power forward. At a forward to kind of help them out and lean on.
With some heart, some toughness, with some heart.
Yeah. See, I think he has some nastiness in him. I just think, to your point, he's got to get stronger and stamina. And stamina. And I think, Coach Pettaway, you said last week or 2 weeks ago that they probably should have given him some increments of 3 to 4 minutes of rest.
Right.
Kind of to help build, because you notice when they had 2 days off, he did have a little bit more, juice in his tank. But by the time the fourth quarter came, it kind of ran out. So, but yeah, San Antonio, their coach, no, he shouldn't get fired. But management, bring in a veteran retired coach to talk with him. Let Wemby work with Olajuwon. He's still working big people out down in Houston.
Yeah.
And man, that cat, you talking about good footwork. Boy, Olajuwon. Man, he used to school Shaq when Shaq first got in there a few years, but then when that power took over, Shaquille, got kind of got him back a little bit. But that's kind of what I would do.
But see, Carlos, let me ask you this: when it comes to Miss Johnson, the people on the bench should be helping him, his other coaches. And when you look at their coaching staff, I don't think any of those guys have ever been a head coach. You know, you got Corliss Williams, you got Son Sweeney, Matt Nelson, Scott King, Mike Knowles. Though they have never been a head coach.
Yeah.
So he is on the bench, and I guess he's not listening to him. They gotta offer suggestion. If we're watching the same game, you're gonna see something I don't see. And it's your job to tell me or to say something. Yeah. You know, I want an assistant to say, hey, coach, hey, man, we might need to sit your boy down now.
Yeah. You gotta be comfortable with people coming to you and telling you that your stuff don't stink.
Yep. You gotta allow that, Wheeler.
Yeah, you do. There's no doubt about that.
In other words, you don't want no yes man or yes woman.
Yeah. Right. A lot of folks surround themselves with that type of person.
Right.
Yeah. Now, yes, man. You know they're gonna tell me what I want, what I want to hear, that sort of thing and stuff, instead of giving me the tough reality.
Right. I don't want no yes men.
No
yes men on my bench. You tell me what you think, and now if you tell me and then I don't go with it, then that's on me.
Well, I always say this. At the end of the day, ain't but one ass in the sling.
Yep.
And that's mine.
Yep.
So, if I don't take your recommendation or what have you, it ain't personal or nothing like that, but don't be afraid to come to me with it, because it's what I need to hear. Make me think about some things.
Right.
And I think that's the difference. I think if you look at the other side, I think Mike Brown had evolved as and I was hard on Mike Brown. I didn't think, and I hope some members of the New York media apologize to Mike Brown, because I followed some of the radio hosts in New York. Mike Brown at one point was called Mike Clown when the New York Knicks were struggling. It's like, get this Mike Clown out of here. But I hope that radio host apologized to him at some point, because it was funny, but it ain't funny anymore because he's a champion. But I think Mike Brown had those type of coaches on his staff. You got Jalen Brunson's daddy probably constantly in his ear. You got those other coaches that's, he's got an offensive coordinator that he credited. He has a defensive coordinator. I mean, I think in New York, I think Mike Brown's staff probably gave him the business at some point in time during the playoffs when the Knicks were kind of struggling and waffling along. So, yeah, I think you got to have the tough exterior coaches that's going to tell you what you don't want to hear sometimes, because at the end of the day, if you don't win, who's going to get fired? The head coach, and most of those assistants going to be gone too.
Yeah.
Yep. See, he got Maurice Cheek, a former coach. So he got experienced people on his bench. Yeah. Mark Bryan has been around the league for a while and knows how to get stuff done. Chris Gent, Rick, you just call Brunson's name. But yeah, see, there's a big difference. He got veteran coaches, and I think he's the type of head coach that does listen. You got some coaches now. I've seen this on the collegiate level. You got some college coaches; they don't listen to their assistants. In fact, I know some college coaches didn't even let their assistants work. Only thing they wanted to do was recruit. When it came on the floor, they wouldn't let them do anything. How's that guy gonna grow?
Yeah.
Grow. But the game has gotten to the point now where you gotta have help. You can't do everything by yourself, man.
But Mike Brown in the coaching realm, he kind of did what you were talking about with the Michael Jordan and the Bulls. He's been a good assistant. I think he's a good coach. Yeah. Has he had any troubles? Yeah, he did, but that's just like life. Everything's not peaches and cream. I think he's a good coach, Charles. And now, just my opinion. And I think he did an outstanding job.
Well, I didn't realize he won 4 titles as an assistant coach.
Right. 2 with Cleveland. Didn't he do it in Cleveland?
Yeah. Golden State.
Yep.
So I didn't realize he had won 4 titles as an assistant.
Yeah,
I was concerned I was concerned about just his overall coaching temperament with stars. You know, he was with Cleveland with LeBron. He was let go there. He was with the Lakers, got let go there. And then Sacramento, when he was a coach at Sacramento, that was an up-and-coming program. He sent Fox away. And I thought, I didn't know if Mike Brown had what it took. And I thought it was a chance, a risk when the Knicks hired him. But he clearly showed because he played a lot of players when his team was down 29. He had to mix and match. He got the help from his coaches, but he had to make the call. So look, I was wrong on Mike Brown, and he is a champion, and he's one of the better coaches that we've seen in this league.
Yeah, but Charles, let me tell you what
I saw a common denominator. LeBron.
Yep.
Now we could go back in history, even with Magic and Paul Westhead.
Yep.
Some of those stars, wink, wink.
Yep.
They got those coaches fired.
Yes,
Yeah.
But look, Carlos, I think Brown made his mark in Sacramento. Sacramento was losing when he got there. He turned them into a contender.
Yeah.
He was part of saying we can do this without DeAndre Fox. He may have seen something then in Fox that wasn't right.
Yeah. Well, in the chat room, interesting comment. Emmett says, surprisingly, Popovich at San Antonio knows how important it is to have an experienced coaching staff. I think San Antonio caught the Spurs upper echelon ahead of schedule. DeAndre Fox under 4-year max contract, $229 million, runs out in 2029, 2030. It's ways to move him.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to wait that long. There's ways to move him. Also, Michael Rose says Mitch will always have the ghost of Pop always over his shoulder.
That's
basically in a no-win situation until he wins it all.
That's correct.
Locally we have a saying. You don't want to be the next man to come behind a legend. You want to be the man to come behind. The next man. And we could look at in Baton Rouge locally. We could just look at baseball. Right?
Yeah.
Cross town. Skip Bertman. Charles, who came after Skip Bertman? I can see his face now.
Yeah.
Expectations didn't do as well. See you when the Carlos Brown contract. But see, cross town, they could move you. They don't move you in another position on campus. You're gone.
Yeah.
Money in hand. Even if we look at Southern baseball, Roger Cato. Now, you did have what? Kerry Jackson. Now, he's struggling at Missouri, but he did well at Southern. Then after Kerrick was Crenshaw, which we had a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
People still talking about that interview. Isn't that right, Edwin? Edwin said Crenshaw was, usually so laid back, but he wasn't all laid back. I don't know if it was because of me taking a shot or somebody on the panel bringing up, get him, coach.
He was finally able to express himself, Carlos, which was great.
Yeah,
it really was.
He handled it well.
He did.
And look, coaches know when darts are being thrown at them. They may say that they don't look at social media and all that, but they feel it. People talking, people are chirping. They try to block it out, but it's I'm sure it's hard to do. So I think he knew that winning the championship year one, as Wheeler Brown says, the kiss of death, because there's nowhere to go but down when you win it year one. Right?
I'll try. Yeah, I'll try not to go like on a graph. It's like when you I don't know if I could use this example. No, I better not use that. It was gonna be about like when you meet somebody, a significant other, man, it's way up here when you first meet it. Try not to keep it from going down, because it's gonna be some ups and downs. Oh yes, it's gonna be some ups and downs on that graph.
Yeah,
it will.
Yeah, but Crenshaw handled it well.
He did. He did.
He deserves a lot of credit. Carlos, you came on kind of late. We talked about that Knicks series, that great comeback, that 29-point comeback. I have referenced it. That was the greatest comeback I've seen with my own eyes. But prior to that, the one that I saw that I was actually in person to see and call was a SWAC game. Alcorn State versus Alabama A&M. The late great Davy Whitney versus a coach. I think his name is Elvin Penway. At the Dog Pound at Elmore.
Oh man,
the Braves were down 26 and won the game.
You remember that, Coach Petaway?
Unfortunately, yes.
There was a heckler sitting behind Dave Whitney that was giving Dave Whitney the blues. I've shared this story before. Dave Whitney called a timeout. Called Coach Petaway over, pointed the guy out. Coach Petaway goes up in the stands, talks to the guy, settles him down. We come back and win that game. When the game was over, the guy comes down, looks Coach Whitney in the eye. Coach Whitney looks at him in the eye and gives him the bird.
wow.
And I, again, I've shared this story before. I've wondered, what did Coach Petaway say to that guy? Because his back was to us. We didn't know what he said. A couple of years later, I brought it because that story was just circulating. That game was circulating around for a couple of years. I just brought it up. I said, I wonder what did Coach Petaway say to the guy? They said, you didn't know? He said, no, what did he say? He said, hey, man, keep on doing what you've been doing.
That's what I would have said. That's for sure.
But no, that was as far as me in person seeing a great comeback. That was the best comeback I've seen. That game, Alcorn versus Alabama A&M. I'll take that one to my grade. 26 points, and I don't know if even in the SWAC annals, maybe Dr. Cavill, somebody can research it. I don't know if there's a SWAC game in which a team comes back from 26 down to win the game. I don't know. I mean, that may be something to research.
It might not, but basketball now, we saw this past season in the conference, not to that magnitude, but we saw some comebacks
From
quite a
20
few.
down. Yeah.
And on the national broadcast, they were talking about it. Basketball, it's a game of runs.
Yeah,
you can literally see it on every level, in particular with San Antonio. And then it comes to mind the Boston Celtics. They were having an interesting discussion. Let's see if they get the Greek Freak, right? Let's see if they get it. The guy said, well, they're going to have to change. They were debating. Some were disagreeing on the panel, some were agreeing. Said they shoot so many threes, and Guinness goes downhill a lot. Now, what was his weak spot, Coach Petaway, when he first came in the league? He couldn't shoot mid-range or long shots. He kind of improved a little bit with the threes, but do you change your whole philosophy to get him? Say like if you get him at Boston, their coach, he seems to like that 3-point here, 3-point there, 3-point here. They put up the most threes. They've attempted the most threes in the NBA, at least 3 out of the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to even be a good match.
All right, but Carlos, look at it this way. If Boston is used to shooting the threes, that means if they get Giannis, there's not going to be in a position for a double team. That means Giannis doesn't always have to shoot the three. He can get to the basket because nobody's going to stop him.
He goes downhill.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So if you got the floor spread like 5 out like everybody likes to do now, who's going to help that defender with Giannis? All Giannis got to do is take him off the bounce. Every time.
Well, Good point, Coach Pettaway. With that presented to me, I'm still gonna stay on my shooters. You know, he may score 40. We'll see.
Yeah, give up the twos, don't give up the threes.
Yeah, that's the only way I could kind of do that, because you can't double it. And if you do, that
you leave a 3-point shoot open. Yeah.
Now, about 3 or 4 years ago, they had a team that played Boston well. They had good perimeter defense. Now they don't. That was the Heat. They played good perimeter defense, but this last year, and see, that's the thing with them. The year before, they were like at the bottom in offense. So they implemented a new offensive philosophy. But then the defense went bad because they were at the bottom. They were at the bottom this past year. So give me a good two-way team, Coach Pettaway.
No, your favorite word. Give me a team with balance.
Mm-hmm.
Balance. Shoot the three, but don't let it be your primary shot. Be able to score some twos, shoot mid-range game, post up. A balance. Balance offense.
And that's what San Antonio fell in love with in that game. We talked about it. You're up by 29. Man, put him down in the post. He's going to get fouled. And if he doesn't,
Carlos, panel, you're just letting it marinate. How in the hell? And I don't say that too often. How in the hell did San Antonio allow the Knicks to come back from 29 down? How in the hell did that happen? We saw it happen, we saw it unfolded, but how in the world? That's just even hard. With every possession defensively, you shoot 8 straight threes. I mean, that's just even as a basketball fan, not even a Knicks fan or a Spurs fan, but a basketball fan, that's just hard to comprehend as I'm thinking about it right now.
As Barker would say, just terrible.
They're terrible.
Ridiculous. You know what it reminds me of? The dog had a nice, juicy piece of bone in his mouth. He looked at the reflection and said, I got one, but I want that bone too. And then you end up with what? None. You saw your reflection, dummies. And you live by the three.
Yeah.
You dive at it. Because I was sitting there, like, boy, when he making that run, those threes were falling in the first half.
Yeah.
But boy, I don't think it could last. And that's exactly what happened. So a learning lesson for the San Antonio Spurs. Let's see if they take that lesson learned and turn it around. And when they get back, or if they get back, because it's not promising next year.
No.
So, okay, let's see. EA say, so let me get this straight. You're going to pay Guinness just as much as Brown if you want a chip with Brown. That's another piece. Mr.
That's why
Brown,
you got to involve different teams, man, in order to make it happen.
To get him to a third or fourth team. Now, I saw a report of Atlanta, because I think he's from Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, or he's lived there. And then New Orleans. I'm just shocked with the Pelicans with anything.
Man,
because the owner of the Pelicans is the owner of the Saints, and I think most of their time is spent with the Saints.
That's a whole nother conversation.
I can't see that. And the old adage is, if I'm gonna trade him, which I wouldn't, but I understand the financial piece, send him to the Western Conference. I'll be darned if I send him in the Eastern, Will. It's like it's like you kind of beat up a little guy a little younger than you, and then you're gonna have to see him again. And this time he got his family with him. Send him to the Western Conference. That's what I would do. But I wouldn't do it. But I do understand the financial piece. Yeah. And with a new owner, and man, they both making, cool money.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I can't get anybody to Miami. Somebody said it was a rumor. Nobody wants to come and play in Miami. Well, I don't know about that. But I tell you what, Coach Pettaway, the garden is good down in Miami, but the flowers not coming up. We're gonna have to find out about that. Let's take a break. We're into the second hour. We'll do that when we come back. Speaking of NBA, Big Perkins at JSU. And I went into another article by Kyle Mosley, and he gets a direct quote from Ashley. And Ashley says it's in a volunteer role.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, well, I'm not volunteering.
Well, I'm gonna pull it up. It's in the article.
Okay.
And it's a volunteer, and he's gonna help with the NIL program.
That's what I told you.
And communication.
Yep.
Because it's about building relationships, and I'm not gonna dog him out. I'm not gonna dog Big Perkins out.
Well, I will.
We'll put the facts out there, and then we'll have the opinion, right?
Yep.
One fact. Did you know he went straight from high school to the NBA?
Yes.
Okay. We'll take a break. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. We shall return.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a state, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
If you've ever told yourself, I want to get into real estate but don't know where to start, here's something just for you. From Friday, July 31st to Sunday, August 2nd, the Learn Real Estate Fast Masterclass is coming to McKenzie Office Park in College Park. You'll learn wholesaling, commercial investing, and how to purchase property with zero money or credit. I can tell you, education and access are everything. This masterclass is designed to give you both. Whether you're brand new or ready to level up, this is where you start making real moves. Enjoy free lunch, free study materials, and receive a certification of completion. So don't wait. Seats are filling fast. Do not sit on the sidelines while others build wealth. Take that first step toward ownership and legacy. Get your tickets now at learnrealestatefast.com or tickpick.com. For more information, call 678-859-3303. Master the market, build your legacy, secure your future today.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU Sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
I almost lost my notes here. Well, Welcome back to this week's edition of the Coles Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Yours truly, Coles Brown. Apologize for joining the show late. I don't know, the old technology there. Maybe the squirrel was running on the Wi-Fi line.
How's the weather down there? It's raining here. Is it raining down there?
No, overcast. We're supposed to get some rain, but we did have a tropical storm, but the creator must have had his hand on Baton Rouge because we were preparing for the worst, and I woke up about 2 a.m. and I was like, I don't even hear any rain. And then kind of looked at the radar. Unfortunately, it moved over to the east.
Yeah.
So all the people in Mississippi and Alabama, they got flooded. You hate to see that for them.
Yeah.
But ever since 2016, like in Baton Rouge, people get kind of nervous because it was like 10 years ago when we had that horrific flooding. Mm-hmm. And so, as I always say, climate control and global warming is real.
Yes, it is.
Because you kind of think about, I'm in my 60s, right? 60, 61, and it just seems like the storms are more intense than they were when I was a teenager. So just food for thought. So
right. Carlos, let me ask you this. The waterway that's behind the school, the campus, what is that? Is that a lake? Is that a river? What is it? The water is.
Talking about Southern?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the mighty Mississippi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so does it ever flood the campus?
No. They had a huge flood. We wasn't around in 1927, but I remember my grandmother telling me about that. Okay. And downtown actually flooded. But I can't tell you what, Southern alum General Honore, Representative Troy Corder. Mm-hmm. If you look, I can tell you, like when Coach Richardson was coaching, and those old linemen and players would run down the back of the campus, that hill, down to the Mississippi, and then back up. It was a big drop off. Global warming and erosion now.
Yeah.
Man, you go back there to the campus and it looks like the river's up 10 feet.
Wow.
So these things are real.
Yeah.
These things are happening. And so they kind of got a grant and to help restore the erosion part. And because if not, some of the campus will start sloping off and falling in the river. And I don't care what they say, that river's still deep.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It is deep, deep, deep. Before the last time out on the top of the hour break, I'm gonna go straight to HBCU Legends, SI.com. Kyle, he's been on the show before a couple of times. Here's a quote from Ashley. It's a volunteer role, but he's going to come in to fundraise, Robson said. Perkins will also take a leading part in Jackson State name, image, and likeness efforts. Robinson expects his presence to transform the program while increasing its exposure and resources. That's going to be huge for us. And then a little bit background. The hire came together through familiar channels. Perkins and Johnson shared the same agent and had discussed the move for some time before deciding to make it public. Yep. Johnson, who played briefly in the NBA, including a stint with the Los Angeles Lakers alongside Kobe Bryant, began working with Perkins the same day the news broke. Robinson said Perkins will also help launch a journalism program at the HBCU. His ESPN background as a basketball analyst is expected to anchor that effort. Perkins is close with former Jackson State head coach Deion Sanders, who arrival in 2020 raised the program's national profile. So there you go. It's a volunteer basis, but NIL and trying to establish communication department, or I guess let me go back and read it again. I don't want to misquote. We help launch a journalism program.
Right,
And,
right.
yeah, because now I know Rob J. I know him. He does a lot of things on campus, although he won't return my phone call. But you know what? I think it's because I took a shot at his favorite NFL team.
You can't talk about the Chiefs now.
Kansas City Chiefs.
No, sir.
And but come on, take off take those feelings off your shoulder.
Do you
Rob
know,
J.
Carlos, that if the Chiefs are playing on a Saturday during SWAC basketball season, he will not do a JSU basketball game if the Chiefs.
Wow.
Wow. You got to see his office, guys. Y'all got to see his office.
Well, he's not a happy camper now. You can't win it all the
time. I thought he was joking, but he said when the Chiefs, he will miss practice if the Chiefs are playing Sunday at 6 o'clock and the Tigers are practicing at Bethune-Cookman or wherever. He's not there. He's watching the Kansas City Chiefs. So
wow.
he takes it seriously.
I did not know that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know Rob J too, but you know what? Going back to Perk, let me tell you something now. I like that. Him helping with their broadcast and stuff, I think that'll only enhance it. And prior to the show coming on today, we were talking. And we were talking about Perk being there. And I said, we were talking about somebody has to have a relationship.
Yeah.
And so there is a relationship there. And that's nothing but positive. And then I told Charles them, I said, I think the biggest thing he'll probably be able to do is help him with NIL. And let me tell you why I'm saying that. Whoever his shoe contract is with, if it's the same as Jackson State, they'll be able to help. Perk also has an AAU team, so he's already in the loop for getting equipment and merchandise and stuff like that. So I think it's a win-win for Jackson State, particularly because it's volunteer. They're not paying anything out, so everything they bring in is a profit. So I think it's great. But now, Carlos, when I told you all I would be interested in being a GM, I'm not talking about volunteering now. Hey, look, I volunteer for enough stuff now. I'm on enough boards now for free. Yeah, so no. But
that's because you got a good heart, Coach.
Yeah. But you know what? That is a very interesting position. A lot of the power fours are already doing that, but they're paid positions.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Shaq took on Sacramento State last year or the year before. Shaq already did that. You know, he was never there. He just his influence and input, but he's already the GM. So for these NBA players to do that, I think it's great, man. You got a lot of these guys that give back. I don't think a lot of you all know how much money Charles Barkley has given out to HBCU. We're one of the schools that's got $1 million from him. And we're one of many now that this man has just donated $1 million to. So,
but I don't. No. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying, them giving back, Carlos, I think is a great thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I was gonna say.
Yeah. Look, give me. You don't have to give me the titles. Give me the money. And then I'll be a steward of that money, and I'm gonna do the right thing, be transparent. Right. You can look anytime and see A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z. I've done that with Willa. You seem to have a different take.
Well, I just, I understand the NIL situation and all that sort of thing and stuff, and I just don't know what all he brings to the table, I guess. And I'm just sick of the celebrity thing. So I've had it up to here with the celebrity thing in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Yeah, I just think, while we say it's done with the kids in mind, these are not positions that are hands-on, with the kids. That's helping to take them through the things that they're going to need in terms of taking that next step forward, that sort of thing. I understand everybody has a role. Yeah, I understand that part. I get that part. And I understand how much finances play in the grand scheme of things. So
Mhm.
I'm not lost in that part right there. You know, what we don't do, when I say we, I'm talking about from an HBCU level, is to invest enough resources in getting our kids ready to take that next step. So I would like to
Mhm.
see more revenue, more what have you, go towards life skills and, you know, things of that nature, helping these kids get ready to take that next step out into society, that sort of thing. And I just
Mhm.
don't see it with the celebrity thing.
Hey,
You know?
Willie,
Well,
do you remember the Champs program?
Yeah.
Okay, we used to have that at A&M. Now
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we still have it now,
Mm-hmm.
but when I was coaching, we had Champs, and that's what that was about.
That was
Preparing the kids.
great. And that was great, especially like during the summertime, that sort of thing and stuff. And,
Mhm.
you know, all the programs that used to be available, you know, used to provide employment opportunities for the athletes and, you know, all that sort of thing. But, you know, it was an opportunity for them, coach, to give back to the
Right.
community. You know, it was an opportunity for them to learn and grow, that sort of thing. But those things now have really gone by the wayside.
Right, and we used to bring in speakers for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
We've had all kind of former professional athletes come in,
Mm-hmm.
perform health, mental health people used to come in. We had
Mm-hmm.
all, and our program was year round. It wasn't just
Mm-hmm.
the summer. You know,
Mhm.
in the fall and the spring, they had opportunities for these kids to meet people outside of athletics and
Mm-hmm.
people who went through athletics and were successful. Like Charles, one of the greatest was Rolando Blackman. That played basketball. Man, he was great at our institution, man. And in fact, I kept his information for a while, man. So, Willie, you're absolutely correct. And to me, as long as they're doing stuff like that, teaching them
Mm-hmm.
life skills and
Mm-hmm.
things, preparing them for after they leave college.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not going, I mean, there a lot of them are not going pro. So
Mm-hmm.
prepare them for the real world. And I think an investment in that should always be there. I don't even know if
Mm-hmm.
they still do it. If they do it, it's
Mhm.
not called champs anymore.
I don't think so. I don't think they do it anymore, Coach. You know,
Wow.
and if I got guys out there raising money, guys, to pay athletes, I just got an issue with that. There's so many other things on our campuses athletically
Mhm.
that need to be shored up, that needs help, that sort of thing and stuff. And, you know, so I mean, I know it's the way of the world and all that sort of thing. That's not lost upon me. You know, I just lament the fact that, you know, a lot of things have gone by the wayside that directly help our kids in other manners that
Mhm.
we're not doing anymore.
And you know, I got excited when Coach Pettaway said he would do it, not volunteer, but be a GM.
And I
Right.
would too. I
That
would definitely do so also.
right. I would I was kind of serious. I was like, Coach Pettaway is the type of person and you that I would contact.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I got shortcomings, you know, you on the AD side, Coach Pettaway from the basketball side, because you had to be a general manager to run your team. You're the CEO.
Right.
You had people under you, but they wasn't yes men. So that's what I would look
But
at.
it's about growing kids and growing coaches.
Right.
You know, because we got a lot of
Mhm.
coaches now that are inexperienced. They're coaching for the first time, that sort of thing. And, you know, they need people to teach them how to be a head coach. You know,
Hmm.
this ain't really something when you're dealing with our kids, this ain't really on the job training. It ain't something that you learn on the fly. You
Hmm.
know, you got to have some skills necessary in order to get these kids moving in the direction that you need for them to move in. And like I said,
Hmm.
getting them ready to take that next step out into the real world. You know,
Right.
that's what we're about. That's what we always been about. And you know, I pray to God that that part of the mission
Always
never
stays.
never changes.
Right. And then
Because
Carlos, I
what
would
they
also
say, Grambling,
yeah, but you know
where
what?
everybody is somebody. Take
Yep.
some that's not quite ready. That's
Yep.
that's usually the HBCU mission.
Right. And then
And
Carlos, it would have to be initiated by the head coach.
Yeah.
See, the head
Definitely.
coach would have to initiate it. Like
Definitely.
you said, with coach, you know, you would love to have me. Coach Johnson would have to be the one that would reach out and say, I wouldn't go for somebody else. If Coach Johnson say, Coach Pat, would you think about being a GM for us? And I would say yes for him because of my relationship with Coach Johnson. To me, and for it to work, the GM has to have that relationship with that coach.
And
Because,
from a coaching point of view, you gotta have somebody that's not afraid of experience.
Right.
You know, you gotta have a coach that is solid in terms of who he is, that sort of thing. He's not looking at this thing like somebody coming in to take my job.
Yeah,
That ain't it at all. You
Right.
know, he needs to take it from the vantage point of this person is here to grow me. He's been around the block a few times. He's seen some things that I haven't seen yet. You know, he can help me grow and develop and become a better coach.
Right.
And I
And be
want
that
to take
buffer.
it in that light. Yeah.
Yeah, be the buffer for them players and stuff.
Yeah.
Man. It's all about the kids, help develop the kid. Because Coach Johnson wouldn't need me for X's and O's. He needs me to help with those kids. He needs me to help with managing the NIL, coming up with a strategy, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And you know, Charles, I'm at your point. You know, when we're talking, we had the ADs on a few weeks ago, and they were talking about cost of attendance and NIL scheduling and all of that. You never know who's watching. I've got a couple of emails. One guy's a finance professor at the University of Virginia. Then it's another guy, and he actually wanted to talk about those student athletes when they get that money. You know, now on a big level, we know they're getting big money. You see some of the schools, and I always say, what we're talking about apples and oranges. But even on our level, when I say our level, there are some out there because I've got a couple of emails about McNeese and Stephen F. Austin. They have some nice NIL. So you never know who's watching. I'm kind of shocked by that. I mean, we have a in-house professor, Dr. Cavill, that you can always go and get information on, and he's going to give his opinion. But just like when you were talking about coaches and having strong people on the staff, you kind of look at this show. You got the panel, opinionated, but they give you different perspectives. You know, Charles at the broadcasting, Willa with the administrative side, and Coach Pettaway with the coaching side, and he has some administrative. Coach Pettaway said he was AD at Alabama A&M for a while. So you got different personalities, but together you have different strong perspectives, and that's what I like about it. But Charles, I just had to say that because, and then another guy, his secretary reached out, and they want to talk about when these student athletes get these deals, life lessons, how to kind of keep that money. Now you're kind of like an employee. You know, the proper forms, paperwork you have to fill out. Now, but I'm going to reach back out to them. And, you know, I kind of favor the cost of attendance. But as Willa said, that costs too. But all get some. Remember I said that?
Right.
And some get all. And I think it's more discussions to be had on that, because I like to keep everybody happy. Maybe I can, but I tell you what, you got women's sports, you got people on the second team. Remember I brought up the example, you got a hell of a 6-man in basketball, You know, do you pay him less? So,
Right.
so all of that's out there now. Once that, and look, I get it. Coaches, and that's some of the blowback you get. Coaches been moving around for years. The university has made big money off of the student athletes. They should get something back. I don't disagree with that, but when you get something back, make sure you be very careful.
Right.
I'm gonna pay that $6 man, Coach Pettaway. I'd like to
Right.
see them get something.
Hey, Carlo, after Charles' comment, please come back to me because
Okay.
you just brought up something else that came out this week. A school
Okay.
just did what you just said. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, go ahead. I'll come back behind you on it.
Hey, now, Charles, please help me. This week, was it Nebraska that came out and said every student athlete would get the same thing? Who was it? It was a Division I school that said all of their athletes would get the same amount of money. Somebody did that this week.
Yeah, there was an article.
Some Division I school, Carlos, said that all athletes will receive the same amount of money when it comes to the NIL.
Now,
that's what you've been talking about.
Yeah, but I think this guy was trying to make a point because when I looked at his bio, he based a lot of his opinions in satire.
Oh.
Now, with that being said, but if that's not the case, it may eventually come up. I don't know if it's. Go ahead, Charles.
It is Nebraska.
That's what I thought. Yep.
Their coach Matt Rules implemented a new policy requiring all Nebraska players to receive the same NIL compensation. He says in quotes, no one player is bigger than the team. We win together, we lose together, we get paid together.
Yep. Yeah, I thought it was Nebraska. But what do you think about that, Carlos?
But what I'm about to say, well, look at that, because I think, Charles, you said that in the group text message, our text message. And when I looked up the guy, he says it's based on satire.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know if it was true or not.
I get you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. But if it's not true or it was satire, it brings up the good point. That could eventually happen if it hadn't happened already. So how do you address that if a coach says that? And then I wanna say somebody else gave their opinion on it. Maybe it's during the NCAA tournament. I was watching the show, and they were arguing about it. If a coach took that perspective, then the people that pushed back on it said, well, he's not going to have a lot of recruits, right? Because everybody's going for the bag. So let's see if we could clear that up. Yeah, somebody said fake news.
Oh, it is fake. I'm sorry, Dave, for bringing it up. Hey, but I'm gonna tell you something. When I read it, I said, hold up, this gonna hurt them. It's gonna hurt them if they implement that. They're gonna lose recruits because these kids. They said, I'm not gonna go to Nebraska when I can get twice as much going somewhere else because they split the money with everybody. Yeah, so you have to look at that.
Yeah. Now we live in a capitalistic society. Now I have some friends who don't really believe in capitalism, but then when you say that or you question that, the first thing is what they say: you're a socialist, or you believe in socialism. You know, we have socialism within capitalism. Just think about that for a minute. You do have it, but the point is, if a coach, he or she states that, how you think that what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen. A lot of the kids now, because of the climate, they're going to go where the money is at. Yeah, I understand that. And there are exceptions to the rule, but maybe not many. But at the end of the day, the coach is going to get extended or fired because of the success or lack of success on the field. Yeah. So how do you balance? That's my word again. Dr. Kavir always laughs. Balance. You know, life is in order, in balance. If you're in balance, I don't have any kids, but if I did, and he or she is great academically and athletically, a dual threat.
Yep.
How important is it, from my standpoint? Is it more important, Willa, to one, get that degree, improve academically and athletically from the first year until the senior year, knowing my genes, probably graduate in 3 years. Going to summer school. But at the end of the day, that student athlete, my kid, has a choice, balance. She's so good or he's so good. He's got a lot of job offers, but he's also good enough to go to the NBA or the NFL. There's got to be some balance there. But to your guys' point, the majority of the student athletes, not just our kids, the majority of them not gonna make it on that next level. So what do you, the old saying, what do you have to fall back on?
Right, right.
I think for some of these student athletes, they'll cross that bridge when they come to it.
Wow.
But hold up, some of them taking advantage of it while they're in the process now, because I got a feel-good story. One of my former point guards, when he was in school, he qualified for Pell Grant. You know what he did with his Pell Grant while the others were going out buying cars and music, stuff like this? He invested in, he bought real property. This boy was in school.
Come on.
He was a student at Alabama A&M, and he bought his first piece of property while he was a student, his sophomore year. By his senior year, he had 3 properties. All of them came from that initial financial aid. I mean, Pell Grant is what it was called. And so you got kids who have success stories like this. Then he went on to be one of the principals in this area. He was an elementary school principal. And now he's retired and he's full-time real estate.
Wow.
But he got his start as a student athlete. Now, I'm not taking credit for what this young man did. Only thing as a coach, I always told them when I knew it was time for them to pick up those checks, I said, hey, fellas, this money needs to last you all year. Put some back. Save some. Don't spend it all now. Send some home to mama. Always take care of mama. That was my thing. And this kid did that from Cleveland, Ohio, and never went back to Cleveland. I mean, to live, go back to visit, but he didn't go back he lives here.
I mean, Coach, those are some great success stories, and you read about them all the time. But people that I talk to, people that I know, they taking that money and living off of it right now. And when it's gone, it's gone. They understand that, and they'll deal with the next step. Whatever, if they go broke over it, okay, well, I'll deal with it, whatever's next. But if you get a chance to get that money in your hands right now, the vast majority of athletes investing it like the example you gave, probably not. They're just trying to live day to day, minute to minute, hour to hour. They're just trying to survive. And I think that's where some of these kids are getting that money and doing with it. And whatever the next steps are, they'll deal with it after that. And I think that's just that's the experience that I've had, and just talking to people and hearing some of the scuttlebutt and the chatter about it. Hey, I got that money. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Buy clothes, buy shoes, got to pay my rent, got to wash clothes, got a car note, got insurance. I'll deal with the next steps when the next steps come. But for right now, I got this money right here, right now, and I got to live right here, right now.
Well, and I talked to someone, and his son was recruited by Southern, but he's going to end up going. Well, he's at McNeese, right? And that was the gentleman that sent me the information about what Stephen F. Austin is doing and what McNeese is doing. everyone can't go by the same blueprint. Sometimes I want this, but can I afford to do it? Now, can I put myself in a position to get those things? Yeah, but it's gonna have to take some work. And I go back again. I know the cost of attendance costs money. It's easier in some sense to get that NIL money because those kids, some really do need. I get it. And getting whatever they get, they do well by doing what they're doing with it, But overall, I still go back to I want some. I want all to have some. Now, let me go back to EA loves me to death. Let's see what he says now. Carlos, if you have a 6'5", 300-pound left tackle son, I have no doubt you are pursuing the money, and this show is being done from the Superdome presidential suite each Saturday. Well, EA, some people can talk the talk, some people walk the walk. I would hope I would have instilled in that 6'5", 300-pound. Oh, if he's 6'5", 300, where did he get the height from? I know where he got the weight from, but where down 50 pounds overall. But I hope, I would have instilled in him all of these things that will come his way. The gold, the watches, all that kind of stuff. I would hope I have instilled in him, me and his mom, that some things last a lifetime. Some things are short.
Yeah.
And, I had this discussion one time. Let's say two guys out of high school. We'll use that example, 6'5", 300. They both equal in high school, kind of somewhat, talent-wise, right? One goes to Jackson State. One goes to Mississippi State. I had a guy tell me that because the one that went to Mississippi State will make it in the NFL and will end up having a better career. And his thing was, he goes to Mississippi State. They're going to have all these nutritionists. They're going to have all these trainers. They're going to have a bunch of this, a bunch of that. At Jackson State, he's not going to have all of that. But one thing you don't look at is heart and integrity. And then it goes back to those stars. Coach had explained it to me. Say, they are 5-star because they go to a lot of camps. They automatically going to get that ranking. Then I gave the example, and maybe it's not a good example to some, but Dalton Hill and Gary James. Dalton Hill ended up having the better career in college and in the pros, but guess what? He was a 2-star coming out of high school. So what does that tell you, Coach Pettaway?
Right.
You still gotta, when you get those players, you got to develop them.
But what I would hope is that my 6'5", 300-pound son would have a work ethic that's worthy of the rewards that are coming his way, and that he doesn't get satisfied with the few dollars that are out there right now to the point where he stops working, he stops improving, he stops getting better. This is the end right here. This little NIL money, I'm feeling good about where I am, who I am, all that sort of thing. The hunger is now gone. With us, when we came through, that hunger was there because it was real. We stayed hungry. Even if we got a little Pell Grant money, and we went and blew it or what have you, the hunger never left. We wanted to ensure that we were going to get better. We were going to put in the work, that sort of thing. We were going to earn whatever little rewards we were going to get, and hope and pray at the end of the day, We walk across the stage with that degree. We're better young men and young women than we were when we walked in the institution 4 years ago. We're ready to take on life because we've taken on a lot of responsibility and a lot of issues, coming through college, that sort of thing. Just so many other things I think we don't put enough of a price tag on. We just look at the right now. And maybe that's today's kid, and it is what it is. But it starts with us as parents, and we have to make sure that trickle down effect happens. We got to preach to them kids 24/7, that sort of thing. Our coaches got to preach to those kids 24/7. The whole 9 yards. And I'll get off my soapbox now.
But no, I'm just thinking, about Coach Richardson and all his and Coach Pettaway, all your former athletes. We ought to bring them on and let them tell their story. They're successful now. I can think of a bunch of lawyers that played on that 1993 championship team and something his first year. So I don't know. I just think that's a good thing. You have to look at the long term, and I get it. EA is trying to insinuate that you're saying that, but if your 6'5", 300-pound son gets offered a lot of cash, not cash, NIL deal.
If he my son, he ain't spending it. That's for damn sure.
Invest.
I'm here to tell you. So if it's my kid, if I'm fortunate enough to have that situation, I can tell you this right now. I will funnel him a few dollars, but everything else we're gonna put up.
Thank you, Willa. It's his. Hey, Willa, it's his, but it's ours. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's like one time on a local radio show, the guy said, "Son, I'll pay for your college. You only have two choices: Southern A&M, Southern University A&M College, and Southern University A&M College." And he meant it. But so many of those, not just athletes at Southern, but throughout the conference, it's a lot of success stories.
Yeah,
they didn't have the the NIL money, and I get it. Athletics has changed; it's more on the business side, but don't forget about your basic principles. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. And at the end of the day, you come back and help that university that helped you. Because remember, our whole strategic thing was we take you and turn out. That's the mission. Good students, and then be competitive. Let's see, Dr. Cavill said, "I would not sell my kid to wolves for them to destroy his inner being. Very few athletes go to those factors and come out whole." Amen. Amen.
Yep.
Now, 12:46 Central Standard Time. Got a lot of conversation off the record last week about SWAC football predictions. Charles, you know where I'm going with this one.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah. We'll spend the next 4. The good thing is it's predictions and opinions. I think it all started July 16th, SWAC Football Media Day. Trust me, Prairie View is going to be picked to come out the West. Jackson State coming out the East. Now, some people are going to disagree. Now, we did say this. Alabama State, it's their time, right? They're at the door. Knock, knock. Can I come in, or you kick the door in? That should be Alabama State mindset. And Southern will find out right off the bat. We talked about that. Coach Pettaway. Now, maybe in basketball it's a little different. You have an exhibition game. You don't have that in football.
No.
Although some people have that thought it should, but don't hold your breath. I would rather start off with a tough opponent to see where I stand. Now, okay, if you lose, You lost early. Sometimes if you lose late, and then you got to count on somebody else helping you out. That's a good test. So, Charles, you stated that Alcorn State, you believe that they're going to come out of the West, and you gave their reason. You gave your reason. Now, if somebody just tuned in or didn't watch last week, talk about that again. I'll give you an opportunity. Now, Coach Pettaway, you could talk about Alabama A&M. I could talk about Southern. And then Charles, you emphasized Southern 2-10 several times. That is a fact. But I don't think it's going to happen this time.
Oh.
They, they're unknown. That's what I would put until we see Southern get out there. Rosters not complete officially until after summer school. Then we can kind of get a better understanding of who will get it done. I like Jackson State again. To me, until somebody throws them, I've got to think they're going to have a lot to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You ready for me?
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I do think Alcorn. I have Alcorn coming out of the West, and I have Alcorn coming out of the West because of, in large part, the development, the improvement of our quarterback, Jalen Tolbert. The last half, and you go back to the last part of last season, we won 5 out of our last 6. And Jalen Tolbert finally waking up and realizing that he can run the football using his legs, something that he didn't do the first half of the season.
Who was the opponent, Charles? I don't have the schedule in front of me. I could look it up, but I'm being lazy today.
Our schedule for the upcoming season?
No.
Oh, last year, I mean, there were games.
During that winning streak, who were the teams that they beat?
Texas, one of the biggest wins that we had. Of course, we had Lincoln, we had Texas Southern, we have Valley. So
Charles.
I'm giving you a chance. I'm gonna give you a chance again. You're sure.
I get that. We beat Southern University, we beat Grambling in that. But the second half of the season, and it started in Tallahassee against Florida A&M, a game that was right there for us. We go for it on 4th and 2 from our own 33 with the game right on the line. We didn't get it. We didn't field
Even the fire just say, I don't know about that
one. Yeah.
Oh my.
So I look at Jalen Tolbert, and there's videos that either he has posted or someone else has posted of his development. I think if Jalen Tolbert picks up where he left off last season, and it doesn't matter who's back there running the football. We've had Jacorian Sewell, Reggie Davis last year. We've had Arnold Walker, Anthony A. Train Williams the last year. We're going to run that football, and we've had with great success. If we do those things, I think we will be right there. Now, if you look at our schedule to start, and a lot of people are pointing at that Alcorn Prairie View game on their homecoming, there's a lot of football to be played between the start of the season and that point. That's in October. We got UAPB in Memphis, a team that we kind of had on the ropes last year in Memphis. Texas Southern at home, Grambling at home. We beat TSU, and we beat Grambling last year. We beat TSU at a time in which Texas Southern was kind of sort of in the conversation because Prairie View had lost to Alabama State. That kind of opened the door a little bit. But I think, again, if Jalen Tolbert with a new offensive coordinator, the way that we got it, and he actually, our OC this year, kind of took over the reins the second half of last year, and you kind of saw some improvement. I think with that and the schedule, we got some good home games. We open up with Miles. We got Texas Southern at home to start. We got Grambling at home. We got UAPB. I think the Braves could be right there. That's my take on it. Our defense is going to be kind of raw, but I think there will be some improvement there. We got a new special teams coach that just started a couple months ago. Our previous special teams coach, Coach Fosselman, went to South Carolina State right after signing day. But we got a bunch of kickers. I was told the other day we got 4 or 5 kickers. We got a bunch of quarterbacks. So I do think the Braves will be right there. That's how I see it. I'm wrong.
But Charles,
Wait a minute.
let me tell you what they say up here.
What?
If and buts were candy and nuts.
I get it.
Oh, what a Merry Christmas it would be.
But we can all say that about all of our teams.
That's true.
We can
That's
say
true.
that if Andrew Body stayed healthy last year, Alabama State would be right there. If they complete that pass from 4 yards out, they beat Jackson State. We have a whole other conversation about the East. So yeah, we can say a bunch of ifs.
That's true.
We can say a bunch of ifs. So that's fine. But I'm looking at it from where I'm sitting right now. And yes, is it through purple and gold glasses? Yes, there is no doubt about that. But I'm just looking at how this team finished last year. If we can pick up the momentum with an improved quarterback and a new OC for the most part, that was kind of our issue last year. You know, our quarterback had lanes to run the football and he didn't take it until the FAMU game. And then once that happened, the offense improved. So if those things happen, I can see the Braves winning the Western Division. Okay. Now, when I talk about Southern University and Carlos, I was thinking about it.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What I'm saying is that the unknowns, we've seen unknowns win in this league right away. We saw Tremaine Jackson, who was an unknown last year. What did he do last year? He won. Kevin Johnson was an unknown. What did he do? He won. Brittany Beal, unknown at Florida A&M, she won. So yeah, there have been some unknowns in this league that can win right away. And it's just painful for me to say as a SWAC fan, I'm taking my Alcorn hat off. I'm taking my purple and gold glasses off. I'm taking my black and gold glasses off. It's hard for me to even stomach saying Southern University football.
I knew it.
They did last year. I mean, I'm saying this out of respect, Carlos. I'm saying this out of respect. I'm saying it's not a shade. I'm not throwing shade. I'm not doing that. It's just hard for me as a SWAC fan to envision that. But the unknowns in this league have won right away. Chris Crenshaw won year 1. So with that
was with Kerry Jackson's talent, to be honest. Brutally honest.
But that happens all the time. A first-year head coach is going to be using the previous coach's talent. It happens all the time. So I mean, I hear that.
So I can't give him 100 on that one.
Got to find that. He's still going to get credit for the wins, though, even though it was with previous players.
And if he loses, he's going to get credit for the loss, right?
He's going to get credit for the right. That's just a hey.
Unfortunately, Charles, momentum don't ride from year to year. For the most part.
And I hear a lot of ifs.
So, even though you guys won 5 out of the last 6, that sort of thing, which was great and a great accomplishment. These guys have now gone through a winter. They've gone through a spring. They're getting ready to go through a summer. And, when they get back here in August, this is a brand new year. This is a brand new start. And, we got to pretty much build momentum from scratch. Yeah. So, I mean, we can look at the fact that we had some success toward the tail end of last year, but last year is right where it is in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Don't get caught looking back. They say.
Yeah. No. There's
but you know why I asked strategically why I asked that question. A win is a win, but look who they won against. That can have the big hat on. And you think it looks good, but it doesn't. And with Southern, I said Coach Pettaway the unknown because you got a whole new staff. I'm being brutally honest. Now, Raul Tomlinson is a quarterback, came from Kent State, transferred in. Big deal. Who cares? But you know why you care? It's competition now. The good thing about the unknown, nothing is given.
Right.
Everybody's got to earn their way. And then we're going to see who wants it enough. So again, back to what I said, yeah, 2-10, that's a fact. But I could open up against Louisiana Christian or Alabama State, which is going to tell me, what I need to know.
Alabama State.
All right, but now wouldn't that really depend on opening up against a tough opponent? Wouldn't it depend, to me as a coach? I would look at my roster to see if that's the best thing for me to do. Is my roster strong enough for me to open up against a tough opponent, or do I need to massage this roster and get these kids some confidence? Now I would look at it both ways. Now, Carlos, that's where I would now.
Well, you're a coach. I understand
if
that.
I got a bunch of kids back from the previous year, that sort of thing, I got experience on my side, then I don't mind opening up against a tough opponent.
Right.
But if I'm young and dumb, you know, we just getting started, a lot of new faces, that sort of thing. I don't know that I want to put that challenge on them right away.
Right, because it could mess you up for the rest of the season now.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Willie said,
I'm looking at the roster from what I see. And again, I said earlier, we'll see once summer school is open. I like this roster. And I'm just going to smile, better than last year. Okay. Now, they're going to have to put it on the field, though. And that's what we're going to see. I still say, and you look at Prairie View, they had a lot of turnover. The way everything is now, it's always a lot of turnover. You know, Jackson State has done it 3 or 4 years in a row, turning it over, but so they're doing something right. They are doing something right. But I will say this, as we're fast running out of time, Alcorn State head football coach is on the hot seat, big time. That's
there's high expectations. There really is. Our president said the coaches know what is expected, and the president has not come out and has given a win total. But he said, and he said at the signing party that he knows they know what's expected. So
he need to keep his damn mouth shut.
Well, I'm just saying. He said it's the public forum. So, but you have it all the way. I mean, the expectations are high. I mean, this, you know, we won a bunch of division titles. We won SWAC titles. We've been to the Celebration Bowl, albeit we didn't come out on the victorious end of it. So the expectations are high. 6-6, 5-7. Those are the first 2 years of Cedric Thomas. You're opening up at home. You got some key home games in conference to start. We have an opportunity. I mean, albeit we got North Alabama, we got USM. We got an opportunity to get off to a good start to start the season, and hopefully we can do that.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you seen Prairie View schedule?
I have seen Prairie View schedule.
They could be 1-3, but still be a good team. The record may not show it because, baby, they start off tough.
Yeah.
Then they got Stephen F. Austin. Yeah, I could play Lipschitz University, Holy Water College. I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's just kind of not my style.
Yeah.
No, I want to see where we stand. And guess what? Yeah, I'm gonna look at that roster. Valid point, Coach Pettaway and Wheeler, very valid. I'm gonna look at that roster. From what I see from a non-head coach perspective, I'm just gonna smile. I like what I see, but it's gonna have to be proven on the field. And guess what? They could have hired a coach with 20 years experience. Another fact / opinion. It don't matter who the coach was. Southern starts off, their fans will get on you quick. Jackson State fans, I think the same.
Jackson State fans are hungry to get back to Atlanta, and they came up short last year, and they did a hell of a job with a sophomore quarterback in Lockhart who's going to be featured this year because Jacoby Morgan is done. But I guarantee you, Jackson State's going to be hungry to get back there. But Alabama State with Andrew Body, you know, him coming back, you know, has made the difference and changed a lot of people's mind, including mine. You know, I have Alabama State winning the East. I have them winning the East this year because of Andrew Body. I think that's a great story, and I think he's going to prove to a lot of folks that he's the real deal. He's shown some people already, but I think he's got to get to the finish line, which is some sort of title, division or SWAC.
But Charles, I look at Alabama State panel, even if when Body was injured, Alabama State still was a damn good football team, especially on defense.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What does that say for a team that can lose somebody of that magnitude, but they're still in every ball game? Because guess what? They're like Wheeler, tough, and they like slobber knockers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're right there.
That's what I like about them. Now, see, I can give credit to Wheeler to other teams besides Southern.
But Alabama State, to me, Carlos, was in a little bit more higher scoring games than I thought they would be. I mean, that Jackson game was a offensive juggernaut. I mean, if it was a little bit better defense from Alabama State for various reasons, I think Alabama State probably beats Jackson State. But I was expecting a little bit better defense, and maybe it will be. Maybe the offense will take a little bit of a step back, but Andrew Body being the quarterback can help, alleviate some of those things. So that's just kind of what I'm saying. If I'm wrong, I'll come back and say that I'm wrong. But I think Alabama State with a veteran quarterback, and you got a sophomore in Lockhart who had meaningful snaps last year. They played USM. A lot of guys got hurt. He played against Tuskegee. He played against Grambling in Vegas, a game they lost. But the biggest win they had last year was at Florida A&M, in my opinion, last year, a game in which that was a huge win for them down in Tallahassee. So he's got some meaningful snaps. So you can't take any credit away from Lockhart in his freshman year last year. He's a sophomore this year. So we'll see how that offense evolves.
Schedule, players coming back, unknown. I still say SWAC football media, they're going to be interesting, Coach Pettaway.
Oh, yes. I'll be there.
I still think the big story is going to be Coach Falk. I've seen it before. Everybody's going to come around and want to check this guy out. We know he was a great football player, Hall of Famer. But now we want to see what happens now coaching and assistant coaches. By the way, next week I'm scheduled to have one of the coaches on the staff. And boy, he told me this. I'll let this a little bit out. When I was talking to him, he said, man, it used to hurt my heart to see Jackson State get those wins in a row over Southern University. Now, that's a clue. Somebody on that staff, just for that clue, some people ought to know who I'm talking about. I don't know if he wanted me to say that, but I did. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching. We gave you different perspectives, as always. We talked from NBA to Big Perk, general managers. I still will hire Coach Pettaway as a general manager at my dear Southern University, A&M College, if that opportunity presents itself. Once again, college athletics is ever changing. We've given Charles an opportunity. He still stuck with it. He doubled down on all core states. So what we're gonna do next week, we're gonna also putting up the schedules again, and we'll get people's predictions in a chat room. You notice Coach Pettaway and me, we're being cautiously optimistic about our football teams.
Yes.
Charles is got the purple and gold glasses on, and he admits it.
I'm taking them off, now I'm putting back on.
Those are bifocals on the purple and gold.
Carlos, I am officially blind without glasses. 2020 is perfect vision, right? If I take the glasses off and look at the letters, I am whatever the number is for being blind. That is what I am. I gotta have these.
Well, actually, I have to wear glasses when I'm driving, but you notice doing things good, my eyesight's pretty good. But guess what? Mother Nature, Father Time is still what? Still undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Father's Day. Is that tomorrow?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Quickly. I know, Coach Pedro, you have to go. Quick memory about your father, if you care to share one.
Oh, yeah. Always taught us to do things the right way, respect others, and we've all believed in that, all 8 of us.
Yes, sir. Well, my father is gone. He's been gone a little while, but even if he wasn't my father, I'm telling you that close to perfection was that man, Herbert C. Brown Charles Sr. And he's sorely missed. But guess what? I talk to him all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And he'll probably say, Carlos, it's time to end that show. You done gone too long. How about you, Willa?
I didn't have a dad in the home. And so I depended on coaches to really kind of guide me, that sort of thing. And I think that kind of helped to shape the attitudes and the values that I have, because your mom does the best she can to try to provide and be that quote unquote male role model, but she can't really teach you how to be a man. And so, I depended on coaches a lot. So, my high school coach, one of my college coaches, Coach Jim Toon, invaluable. Oh, gosh, invaluable. He took me from a pup and really like a piece of clay and molded me, that sort of thing. And, so he passed away probably about maybe 10, 12 years ago. And, but it's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him, because I am who I am in a large part because of him. So happy Father's Day to all the coaches out there who take these young men up under their wings and help them grow to be, respectful guys in society, la-di-da, so forth and so on. Happy Father's Day to all you guys.
Yeah.
Well said. Fathers, stepfathers, grandfathers who've done it. And I'll close on this. My father was a minister. What does that tell you?
Mine too. Mine is too.
And I'm the total opposite.
Charles, what about yours?
My father's passed away, but he took me to Grambling State University. My father is a Grambling grad. Took me to Grambling. The rest is history.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All righty. Enjoy your weekend and Father's Day. And boy, lightning just struck. True story. True story. Have a blessed weekend. We'll see you next Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for another edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Peace and God bless.